Alright, so we're back again with another game between Second Win and Wildcard. This is gonna be game 2 in the series between SolidReste and Duck.
Yes, as we see, both players are starting with a handlock deck. We see a couple differences. Mainly, Duck's deck is different with Arcane Golem and double power overwhelming, so it has more burst than the usual handlock. Also, you see a King Mukla, which is a very interesting tech card, and a Sunwalker, which you generally don't see, but it's not that weird.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Duck's is more tailored to go against another handlock, so... I mean, that extra burst is very good in this matchup.
Indeed, burst is very important in this matchup. King Mukla with the bananas could also be interesting to fill up his opponent's hand, so that SolidReste will miss the draw because of his hand being filled with bananas.
Yeah.
It will be interesting to see how this match will unfold.
Definitely.
Yeah. SolidReste deck is like the standard handlock you see nowadays.
Yeah. He runs 2 Alms, which is good against handlock. Most people run 1 in like a typical standard handlock deck.
It's nice to take care of the Twilight Drakes, indeed.
Yeah.
So we're going into game 1 now, and
Yes. And I think we're only gonna see the perspective of Duck, as SolidReste had some issues with the streaming.
yeah, indeed.
Not the same, but I guess we'll have to make do.
Yes, it's less fun to watch, but it's still fun.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, we see it's Sunwalker as well. That's a very unusual card in a handlock.
Yeah. No Twilights or Mountains yet for Duck, so this is not a very good opening hand. The BGH is good.
Yeah, the BGH is very good.
Giant. It's pretty bad for him though if he doesn't draw a turn 4 play next turn, so we will see how that goes. If he can get a lucky draw.
We see no coined Drake from Solid. Maybe he's just waiting for the
I don't think
Giant.
Drake is a good play, since if you coin Drake it's a 4/8, so it dies to a single hit of a giant, so I think you should never coin Drake in Handlock Mirror.
I don't know, I mean you can kill it. You can kill a giant with a Soulfire.
Yeah, but still you'd rather just, do nothing and play it next turn with more health. It's better.
Yeah.
Because it can be actually quite annoying to finish something off with like 1 or 2 HP. I mean, Mortar Coil deals with 1 HP, but it's very hard actually for Handlock to kill something with 2 HP. I mean, you don't want to just Hellfire to kill 1 million, that is kind of a waste.
Yeah. And we see no good 4-drops from SolidReste either. It's pretty strange.
Yeah, both players having a terrible start, basically, with no turn 4 play. It's very weird.
Oh, here comes a Twilight Drake.
Yeah. It's an easy Twilight Drake. Yeah. Nice 10 health.
See what Solid can do here. Here comes the Silence. Silence Mortal Coil. Very good way to deal with the Drake. I wonder what he's thinking about now. If he's thinking about taunting or just silencing another Ancient Watcher. Because you see him hovering over his cards.
Yeah, there's nothing else he can do really. I mean, he cannot life tap because then he will have too many cards in his hand, so he would discard 1 next turn. So he must have a 2-mana creature in his hand. So
here we see. Is he gonna play King Mukla here?
Seems like it. I think this is a bit weird. I would personally drop the Sunwalker since the Sunwalker is simply, 6 mana. It's very mana efficient. And the King Mukla, like, what else are you gonna play? Are you gonna life tap or what are you gonna do? I mean, you cannot life tap really because then you need to Soulfire or something because you will have too many cards in hand. So.
I guess he's thinking about the Sunwalker. I mean, the Sun Fury. It's that or just passing. I mean, both are fine. Solid is gonna miss a card now. His hand is full.
But I think if you just played the King Mukla, well, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just play the Sunwalker? Like it's simply more mana efficient, so I don't see a reason to play the King Mukla over the Sunwalker. Yes, SolidReste will discard a card, but I mean, if you play the King Mukla next turn, he will still have too many cards in his hand. Like it's not like the handlock is gonna drop his entire hand this turn or something.
Oh wow.
Turns out well though, since SolidReste discards the Mountain Giant, so that's very sweet.
Yeah, that's the card Duck is hoping for sure. That's pretty insane actually. Well, we already know he doesn't have any good 4-drops. I mean, solid. I have no idea what he's gonna do here. Hellfire.
It's a decent Hellfire. It's not really nice to Hellfire when you have 2 Ancient Watchers sitting on the field, since you don't want to damage them. But
we still don't see it's like you say. I mean, now he drops the Sunwalker when he has 7 mana. It's not very mana efficient.
Yeah, that's why I would have dropped it last turn, since then this turn he could have done Mukla, tap, and play a Sun Fury, which would have used all his mana this turn. So now over the 2 turns he wasted 4 mana. He missed doing 1 life tap and playing the Sun Fury, so I think it's a bit suboptimal play, but it's not too bad.
We see the second owl come out for solid, silencing the Sunwalker.
Yeah. Now he fills up the board.
If this gets Hellfire,
sure
he's gonna.
Play. I don't know what. Yeah, it's too weak to Hellfire and Shadow Flame. We cannot see his hand, so it might have been the best play he could possibly do, but it's definitely not a good play.
No. I mean, we see that Duck has a Shadow Flame.
Yeah. Which is most likely gonna get used on the Ancient Watcher. Also, the banana doesn't change anything, so that card is also wasted. And this is just an easy turn, just drop the Twilight Drake and then Shadow Flame your Watcher. I mean, you're at 21 HP, so you don't need to worry about your life, so you can just, make your board even stronger while clearing your opponent's board.
No, that's a bit of a misplay. You should have dropped the Drake first. Get 1 more health on it.
Yeah, indeed, it's a small misplay by Duck. Most of the time it's irrelevant, but it's, just simply a good habit to do it in the right order, since, it could be actual game changing.
1 Mountain Giant, probably gonna follow by... no taunt. No.
Ooh.
Is this lethal?
Yes, this is lethal, yeah, with top deck Arcane Golem. Without the Arcane Golem it would have been lethal if his Soulfire didn't discard the second Soulfire, but the Arcane Golem makes it 100% lethal, so game 1 going to Duck, and we'll see. We have seen his interesting card choices, his Arcane Golem and his King Mukla working out well. They both made a good appearance this match, so it's nice to see his different style of handbook perform well.
But I mean, now SolidReste knows he has some weird cards in his deck. I mean, I think he saw all 3 of them that game.
Yeah, he also saw the Sunwalker indeed.
So I
He
guess
doesn't
he
know about the
can.
double power overwhelming, but when you see an arcane golem, you might suspect it.
Yeah. So SolidReste is gonna go with the Shaman deck to counter the handlock.
It's a very natural choice. It's generally people generally pick either a hunter or shaman to counter handlock. With
Yeah,
hunter being nerfed recently, most people go with shaman now. So it's definitely a good choice by him.
yeah. I mean, he plays my Shaman deck, which is very consistent, very strong. With the addition of Lava Burst, it's even better against handlock than what I normally play.
Yeah, his deck list with Leroy, Wind Fury, Lava Burst is very good against handlock since you want to burst them down at the end to prevent Molten Giants and stuff. So it's a very good list. The Leroy Windfury combo is better than Alakir against Handlock since Alakir's simply less damage than Leroy Windfury and it's more expensive to pull off.
Yeah.
So um, this is definitely a good counter deck.
The only thing about Shaman versus handlock is you really need those early removal cards.
Yeah, if you don't get the appropriate responses to the Twilights and the Mountains, it can be a big trouble.
Yeah.
Duck does run double Shadow Flame, double Hellfire, so that's very good, which most handbooks are currently using now, since it's very good against Shaman to have all those AoE clears.
Yeah. He does draw one Mountain Giant, which is gonna be
And the
really
King
strong.
Mukla. Yeah, you could play turn 3 King Mukla, turn 4 Mountain Giant, which is pretty strong.
Yep.
You also see him draw a Twilight Drake now, so he definitely has a lot better opening hand than last turn, and I can actually imagine the King Mukla being very hard for the Shaman to deal with. I mean, on turn 3, killing a 5/5 can be troublesome, and if you you don't want to hex it because you need those hexes for your for the mountain, so.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, 5/5 is really difficult. I mean, he has to use two cards to deal with it.
Yeah, indeed, he needs like a rock biter or lightning bolt in combination with something else. Um,
Is he actually gonna coin the
oh,
Mukla?
he's gonna coin it out. A very aggressive play by Duck.
I don't really think.
Personally, would have just life tapped and play it next turn since it
Yeah,
fits your curve better. Like this makes your curve worse, so I
yeah. Now he
don't
has nothing to
understand.
do. But I mean,
I guess it makes it harder to react to the King Mukla, but
but
I'm
that's
not
the
sure if you.
perfect card for. That's the perfect card for Solid right there.
Yeah, it is definitely a very good answer, but it does overload him. Like the King Mukla completely destroy his Tempest, and it's now on turn 4, all he has is like I'm assuming he's gonna totem, yeah. So all he has on turn 4 is 2 totems against the Handlock on turn 4. You know, you want to have like a stronger board than that.
Would yeah.
I mean, you win by having board control generally, and then at the end just bursting them. So if the Handlock manages to get board control, the Handlock is actually in a favorable position. If he has Earth Shock, like SolidReste, it's in a fine spot since he can Earth Shock and develop a minion like a Yeti, an Argus, or an Unbound or something.
Yep. I mean, he has to have it though as well.
Sure.
He doesn't.
Well, you can double banana now, um, since he has 2 bananas in his hand, so that fills out this mana curve.
I mean, I would double banana on one of them. That would
Yeah,
make
I would
most sense.
definitely double. I would double banana the healing totem. I agree with that.
Yeah, he does that as well. Very smart by Solid.
Since this double banana one is better than spreading them out because now that totem survives the hellfire, which is good that he played around that. And I think double banana on the healing is better than the taunt, since if the taunt gets silenced, it's more annoying. Because then you cannot roll taunt totem again, and it's like the best totem. in general.
I think I would have dropped the Twilight Drake there.
Yeah, I think I would have simply because you saw him use an Earth Shock last turn. So it's less likely that he has an answer for it. He's gonna see in the Hellfire Mortal Coil to deal with the board,
Yeah.
except the healing totem. There you see like good use out of the double banana. Turns out well.
Comes a Drake. That's pretty nice. Gets another
Drake
totem.
totem. Yeah, that's indeed a good turn 7.
Would you
I
not
think would
drop the
either
Sunwalker?
I would either Twilight Drake and Watcher or Sunwalker. I think I would have gone with the Sunwalker since there's no well, maybe actually this is correct because you can Shadow Flame the Watcher. Um, so let's say a SolidReste does Feral Spirits now and hits face, since it's very unlikely that he will trade his Astral Drake and his Healing Totem since they cannot trade efficiently with anything. So most likely SolidReste has a big board, so I actually think this is the correct play by Duck, since you can then Shadow Flame your Watcher. I mean, if you drop the Sunwalker, SolidReste would trade his creatures into it, and you would get a lot less value out of it. And right now, you don't really have to be that worried about your health total. I mean, you should be a bit, considering you have no taunts.
I mean,
But
a lightning storm would be pretty good here for Solid. There's so many
I don't know, it doesn't
cards.
really kill anything. Like, Lightning Storm is actually pretty bad near. Like, what you want here is simply an Earth Shock, and maybe
Mm.
one Rock Bite or Lightning Bolt to clear the Watcher.
That's okay.
Okay, seems like he has no Earth Shock, so that's unfortunate. But
The problem
got
is
rid of it
Shadow
pretty
Flame.
efficiently.
Shadow Flame is a big problem here.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see Shadow Flame coming out here. Maybe even Leroy before that, because he can Leroy and then Shadow Flame, so the Shadow Flame also kills the whelps.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, he has no other good thing to do if he Shadow Flames. That's his problem. Oh my god. He actually gets a Molten Giant. Just...
well, it does. The Molten Giant, like, it's 1 minute too expensive, like, it doesn't fit right here.
Yeah, but I mean, he has it. He can play next turn.
Yeah, next turn is definitely good draw, since you can, if you take a bit more damage to the face, you can drop Molten, Faceless, and Sun Fury in between. That's actually very hard board to deal with for Shamans. Wow, we draws the second Molten. And this is gonna be a crazy turn. We might see a Hellfire to clear the board, followed by 2 Molten Giants and a Tank Giver in between. That seems like a pretty good play.
The only thing he like against the Shaman with a lot of burst. I mean,
Yeah, he dropped
he's
down
seen
to
most of
8
it, but
like 8 HP is, I mean, you only die to then like Lava Burst plus Lightning Bolt, and you've already seen 1 Lightning Bolt played, and with only 4 cards in hand, I think you should Hellfire first before dropping them, since it simply clears his entire board. Now it's pretty annoying to have like the 2 taunts left, since now you cannot pressure his face.
the
Like
only
if you
thing.
Hellfire now, oh well, he can face this now, so that might be better actually.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Yeah.
SolidReste is gonna be like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, just exploded the board. Um, with the Hellfire, though, Duck would have had lethal next turn with the Leroy Faceless on it if the Giant survives.
Yeah.
This is the safer play, so it's definitely a good play. Like triple giant is very hard to deal with. Like even 2 axes doesn't cut it.
Yeah, and he's already used one. I mean, he can deal with 2 of them pretty efficiently.
Yeah, the flame tongue totem is nice, although now you don't have any taunts left, which is also kind of sad. Because like getting hit by those moltens is pretty devastating. Like you die really quick.
Hmm. He has a lot of damage in hand.
Yeah, I would drop the Sunwalker and the Arcane Golem here.
Would you Arcane Golem?
Yeah, I would definitely Arcane Golem. Like the only downside is like it dies to Lightning Storm, but I mean, SolidReste has 10 mana, so I would drop it because it takes out the Flame Tongue Totem, since you want to kill the Flame Tongue Totem, and your Sun Fury doesn't have enough damage, and you don't really want to, waste 8 damage from your Molten on the Flame Tongue. I mean that like you want with faced with that to just like finish the game because you don't want to give too much time to SolidReste. Like you might draw like a lot of bursts, like his lava burst and all that jazz. So I think it was definitely correct to drop an Arcane Golem.
Unbound. Totem Lightning Storm. Oh, Silence Lightning Storm. I mean, he got the.
Like he cleared most of the board.
He got the right totem. He cleared the board. That's pretty insane.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
But I mean,
he's almost dead though. But
yeah.
And Duck is a little bit short.
Oh, he's dead. Yeah, he's dead.
He's dead. He has 8 mana. Yes. It was definitely a close game. Came down to some good draws in the end, and
I actually think Doc got pretty lucky in this game.
His opening was very good, I think.
And with the double molten draws in a row, pretty insane.
That definitely was also good. Personally, think he made some slight mistakes at the start, but like I didn't agree with like playing the Mukla in some games instead of the Sunwalker and like going out to Mukla.
I mean, he doesn't know that Solid was running Lava Burst, which is good against Mukla. I mean, normally they don't, and then he has nothing to deal with it.
True.
Now we see Solid is gonna go with his Warrior deck to try to get a game on the scoreboard for a second win here.
Yeah, this could actually be the deciding game because Duck is up 2-0 against SolidReste and it's best of 5 format, so Duck needs to win one more game. So I think it will be really hard for SolidReste to come back and win 3 games in a row with Warriors, since even if he manages to win this game, like there are some counters to Warriors. So
yeah.
For example, Zoo counts it really well.
Yep.
Well, he has played Handlock, so he's not allowed to pick Zoo since all the players can only play a single class once. So,
I mean, pretty much every aggro deck is good against, except Hunter.
Basically, the board control decks with like a lot of low like with small creatures with just like a 3 toughness or 2-3 toughness are really hard to deal with. Since like the main deal is Whirlwind is clear early, and if Whirlwind doesn't clear the board, it's pretty hard.
I do think that SolidReste does have a very good chance against Handlock with his Warrior though. He runs a Spellbreaker, which is pretty uncommon, which is good against the Drakes.
Yeah, still I wouldn't be too optimistic. I think overall Control Warrior against Handlock is a very close matchup. Like it's definitely not a counter. Like Shaman had a better chance to win.
Yeah.
I personally think Handlock is favored against Control Warrior, but that's maybe because I am a Handlock fan. So
Hmm.
I personally think it favors like Duck, especially like also because he runs, for example, the King Mukla. Like it's another threat which is hard to deal with for Warrior. Like how do you kill the King Mukla? Do you waste an Executor or Shield Slam on it? Like if you have to do that, you have less answers for the
This time
for
I
the
actually
tanks.
agree with the King Mukla play on turn
Yeah,
3.
this time it seems better. Maybe it was also correct last time. Like I'm personally kind of inexperienced with playing Mukla in Handlock, never done it. Um, it like again, it seems mana inefficient since now you tap next turn, so the other way around it's more mana efficient. But it's good to get it out early to start, killing the armor.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I think it's correct because of that reason.
And he can't shield block, shield slam.
Indeed. It will be interesting to see if he kills the Acolyte or hits face. I think he should hit face,
Yeah.
yes. The only downside of hitting face is that now SolidReste could get multiple draws out of the Acolyte by, for example, using Cruel Taskmaster on it. But I think it's better to hit face just to keep the armor low.
I mean, again, we don't really see that good of an opening from SolidReste. If he had something like Whirlwind, he would have
Well,
used
he
it there.
does have true, but he does have some early minions, so it's not a bad opening. Like having an Acolyte and an Armor Smith is pretty sweet.
I don't think I would have Soulfire there.
I think
Yes.
that Soulfire is not worth it, and even if he was gonna Soulfire, he should have Soulfired first before hitting face with King Mukla. Since now SolidReste has one armor. If he had face first, he would have zero armor, and armor is better than health, so you want to deny him that armor to make his shield blocks and stuff less value.
Here comes
His shield slams, I mean.
the Cruel Taskmaster, I guess.
Probably a cruel Taskmaster.
Yeah. Or banana.
Oh, a banana. Yeah, that's also possible now, yeah. I think he's gonna finish it off with a Fiery War Axe, maybe, since he puts it to 3 health this way, so
Yeah.
that's my guess. Or an Axe. Oh,
Wow.
shield slam. Well, this is where you see the misplay of Duck coming into play because of that one extra armor. He could armor up and shield slam it. If he first soul fired the armor smith and then hit face,
Yep.
SolidReste couldn't do this play. So it's actually like a misplay that does definitely change how the game goes.
Yep. But I don't think it will matter that much. I
It's
mean,
still
this
looking very,
is.
yeah, it's still looking very, very good for Duck. And now he can even faceless the Cairn. Like that's also a very, very good target. Um, like Cairn is so hard to deal with for Warrior. Like to kill a Cairn in double Twilights with 8
Yeah.
it's
There's no
gonna
way.
be. I don't know if SolidReste runs Brawl. I think he runs one. Like if he gets off a very good Brawl, it's possible to come back. But besides that, it's gonna be very tough.
Yeah. Now he can brawl and it would be very good. Yeah. The best Twilight Trace survived though.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for him, although I mean I don't think you can like complain too much about it since Duck had
No.
3 strong minions out. So yes, it's unfortunate, but I mean if his Karen would have survived and all 3 of Duck's minions would have died, I mean he would have just been very lucky.
Yeah. But I guess that's what he was hoping for.
Yeah, definitely. Like he had to take the risk. Like it was correct to brawl there for sure. And if he would have won that brawl, he would have been in a very good position actually, since Duck doesn't have that many threats left. I
Yep.
mean, well, still a lot of threats in his deck, but none in his hands right now.
We see the Black Knight come out. Very smart of Doc not to taunt the Twilight Drake as well. I think a lot of people would have.
Yeah, indeed, that's some like high level play, which was very good by him. It's indeed a common mistake for people to taunt up all their creatures, so since they think, oh, I can get more value out of my Sun Fury by giving both my minions taunts, but I mean the taunt on the Twilight Drake would have been completely pointless.
Yep.
Because you don't need to protect your life total, so I think we're gonna see a Hellfire, maybe Soulfire.
I don't know. I wouldn't Soulfire. I
No, I
would just
wouldn't Soulfire
Hellfire.
either actually, since he's so close to that.
It's either Siphon Soul or just Hellfire. You want to use the Soulfire to for damage to the face right here.
Probably yes.